Hello everyone, it's Cam from Arsenal Theory here, and going to do a little breakdown of the Man City versus Arsenal game yesterday. I'm trying a new setup here with Microsoft Teams. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. You have to bear with me on this one. Um, but to get into things, very, very disappointing result yesterday. Although I was not kind of distraught after the Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton games. After all of them, I was just completely kind of ruined, to be honest with you. After yesterday, yesterday had a kind of inevitability about it all. It went, unfortunately, how I thought it was going to go. Um, we needed to keep it tight for the first 10-15 minutes. We kind of did the opposite to that. In fact, yeah, let's take it through the stages of the game really. So at the beginning, we started pressing them too aggressively, I felt. And actually, for the goal, I don't know if you watch the game, you'll see this. There's a moment where Odegaard just really commits to the press, and you're kind of thinking, as he's doing it, you're thinking, oh boy, what's going to happen here? Because if they pass out through it, they're going to take out like 4 or 5 of our players, because several players kind of went with him, but he led the charge for it. And they just dink it all over all of the players. Haaland knocks it down to De Bruyne. I don't really think there was much Rob Holding could do about that situation. He didn't enforce the aggressive press, and Haaland's bigger than him. The only way he could have really stopped Haaland was to bring him down, and if he brings him down there, he's on a yellow card, and the game's like 5 minutes old. So there wasn't. I don't think he could really do much in that sort of situation. So obviously he knocks it down to De Bruyne, who just basically runs through and from 25 yards out just curls it in. I thought Ramsdale maybe could have done better with that. Um, I actually thought we hung on quite well after that until just before half time. You kind of think, oh, we've let one in after 5-6 minutes. Is it going to be like 2 or 3 after 20? And we actually sort of stuck in there. We didn't play well, but we didn't kind of quit. We didn't give up. And they obviously got the second goal right on the stroke of half time, which kind of destroyed most things, really. But we can talk about tactics and moving Ben White to centre back, and keeping Zinchenko on the left, and all this and that, different scenarios and systems. But ultimately, I do feel if you don't turn up, then it doesn't matter what tactics you implement. If you don't turn up sort of physically and mentally for a game like that, then you've got no chance. And we just didn't turn up. And Jamie Carragher said something. He said it was the most one-sided top of the table clash, where two teams are kind of right. You're at the biz end of the season going for the title. It's the most one-sided clash he's seen in his memory. And I have to agree with him. I can't really recall. I mean, the last few years it's been City and Liverpool going head to head, and I don't think either one of those has really kind of slapped their opponent the way City did to us yesterday. So it's quite. It was humiliating, but also it's kind of like a warning sign as well to the rest of the league, that you look how much better Arsenal have been than Chelsea, Liverpool, United, and then you look how much further on City are. I mean, points wise between Arsenal and City, it's not a massive, it's not a huge gulf, but that difference between being able to get kind of like 85 points and 95 points is actually really big. And I think you saw that yesterday. City are just in a real proper groove at the moment. I've got some trying to get fancy now on the show. I've got some stats from yesterday, so hopefully this will work. Um, And I found these stats interesting because some of them you look at and you kind of go, oh, that doesn't sound too bad, but it really doesn't tell the story of the game. So let's have a look here. We have, all right, so just going to pick out some key ones here. Total shots, City 14, Arsenal 8. Shots blocked, City 2, Arsenal 3. I have to say, it felt like we'd blocked more than 3 shots. I mean, those 3 shots that we blocked probably would have been 3 goals. Look at this, though. Shots inside the box, 11-4. And I didn't even remember our 4 shots. So passes total, not a massive difference between the two. You look at the accuracy, though, obviously accurate passes, but then pass accuracy is the same. Total attacks, Arsenal have more. Dangerous attacks. I mean, I don't know what they consider a dangerous attack, but there's no way that City had just one more dangerous attack than Arsenal. Fouls committed are kind of the same. So it's all, to me anyway, this kind of reads like a much of a muchness until goal attempts. There's some dodgy spelling errors. I'm not sure actually how accurate these stats are, but 12-6, that sounds about right from what I saw in the game. And so has it got the shots on target? Is there a shots on target one here? It doesn't look like they have that here, which is a real shame. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up some different stats website for next time, because you really want to have the shots on target versus off target. So, but yeah, you could look at this and think I don't think you'd look at this and think that was a 4-1 game, but it absolutely was, and it could have been and should have been a lot more. I mean, we could have been 4-0 down in the first half from that. So really, really disappointing. All the opposition fans, not all of them, but a lot of them are kind of crowing about it. And really, I don't blame them for doing that, because they don't have anything else to cling on to. If you're a Chelsea fan, what else have you really got to be happy about at the moment? Not a lot. It's just Arsenal's downfall. That's all you're really carrying with you. United fans laughing at Arsenal, well, yeah, okay, I can understand why. But ultimately, we were your best chance of stopping the treble. You're not going to beat them in the FA Cup final. Any United fans out there that are thinking they got any kind of chance whatsoever against City in that cup final, forget about it. Just forget it. You are going to get slapped big time. I will be incredibly shocked if United manage to pull something out of that game. I really don't think they're going to do that. So, and City aren't really a rival, even though they're their neighbours. I think they consider Arsenal more of a rival than City, and so they're obviously laughing about that, about us. So you just got to take it on the chin. But ultimately, we were the only ones to give City a ride for their money. No one else was able to come along for the ride. So they're all kind of like voyeurs, really, just watching on, not getting involved in the real business end of the season. So we'll have to see. Obviously, United are playing Tottenham later, so I might watch that. It depends on what else I've got to do in the house. In terms of the game, though, back to the game, Ramsdale, I don't think he really covered himself in glory. First goal, I felt he could have done better. The other goals, I don't think there was much he could have done. He actually made some really good saves to keep the score down. So at least he didn't make like a complete cock up like he'd done in the previous match. So that's something, I suppose. Ben White's kind of he's looked a bit out of sorts in the last few games. He's not been as attacking as much as previously, overlapping with Saka. So I don't know if that's a tactical thing or if that's a confidence thing that's happening with him at the moment. So, but he did make some really good blocks on Haaland. He did stop a couple of potential goals from City as well, which just makes me think, if he was playing at centre back, could something have happened there? Could we have had a better result? Gabriel looked a bit jittery to me. Rob Holding obviously gives him the heebie-jeebies. onto Rob Holding. I don't think he was terrible. I mean, he scored a goal. I don't think he could have done much for the Haaland layoff in the first goal. But he did what he did. He didn't play to above his station, but he didn't play to below his station either. And pretty much everyone else kind of was below par. So pound for pound, Rob Holding probably had one of the better games out of all the players, because he played to pretty much his kind of output, really. Whereas the others definitely didn't. Zinchenko was anonymous, just anonymous. You know, you kind of think, well, what's the point of he's on there to control possession. He's on there to control possession and dictate play, and he wasn't able to do that. And he's not kind of fantastic defensively. So if he's not dictating play and controlling things by dropping into midfield, then you kind of think, well, what's he going to be doing there? So I was disappointed with that. Partey, again, a poor game. Granit Xhaka, just anonymous. Odegaard gave them the fourth goal, or set up the fourth goal for them, pretty anonymous. Several big games now where he's just not turned up. And I think I think our entire midfield three of Partey, Xhaka, and Odegaard can all be upgraded on. But people are going to be like mad about that, going, "Oh, Odegaard's incredible." I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I think we can do better. And I think we're going to have to, either he's going to have to improve again, like he did this season from the season before, which is possible. But I think this is a mentality thing with him. You know, it does feel like when the pressure's on, he kind of sort of disappears a bit, which you can't really have from your captain. I mean, we took him off after 70 minutes. And, you know, in the previous teams where we've had success, you wouldn't be taking Tony Adams off after 70 minutes. You wouldn't be taking Patrick Vieira off after 70 minutes. And you might think, well, it's not fair to compare him to those players, but you're captain of Arsenal. Who else are we going to compare him to? That's the standard. So if he doesn't feel he can reach that standard, then don't take the captaincy. And maybe he feels he can. So, you know, there's always that. But those three, they're not really giving. Definitely don't trust them. They're not really giving me good vibes at the moment. So there's that. Saka and Martinelli, completely anonymous. Completely anonymous. And Jesus up front, anonymous as well. You know, the two supposed leaders of the team, Jesus and Zinchenko, offered absolutely nothing yesterday, and they should quite honestly be ashamed of their performances. They really didn't play well at all. You'd have thought Jesus, going back to his old club, would want to kind of prove a point. He did prove a point that they were right to get rid of him, but I was kind of getting into some discussions with some other people online, and a lot of people are defending Jesus. And I do feel the last few games, I think forward line of Arsenal have kind of been getting away with it in terms of blame. Rightly so. People have been blaming midfield and defence, but I think the forward line have a responsibility in this as well to take the pressure off. So they've not really, for me, they've not stepped up enough. And it wasn't the forwards' fault that Ramsdale did what he did against Southampton at the beginning of the match. But equally, it's not the defence's fault that Saka missed that penalty against West Ham, or that Jesus had a stinker against Southampton. So you have to apportion blame to each of those departments within the team. You know, the defence, the midfield, but also the attack. And I think maybe I put more emphasis on the attack because if they get paid the bigger bucks, typically, you know, you get paid the more money, you can have more of a say on what's going on. But it didn't seem like any of them at any point kind of went, okay, the midfield defence are struggling here. Let's get the ball. Let's try and make something happen. A bit of individual quality, buying a foul, really good set piece delivery, something. Go on a mazy run. I don't know. They didn't really do any of that. They just kind of accepted their fate. So that was very disappointing. But really, the league wasn't lost yesterday. It was lost against Liverpool, it was lost against West Ham, and it was lost against Southampton. That's the difference. And as angry and disappointed as I am at those results, I do think when you look at it in that context, we have bottled it. Let's call a spade a spade. We bottled those three results. And it may sound harsh, but that's the truth. If that had been United that had done what we'd done, I'd have said they'd bottled it. So, I don't blame opposition fans for saying that to us, to Arsenal fans. However, though, when I do step back from it and I look at it across the season, I think it's less about necessarily the tactics and more about the squad that you're building, and our squad just isn't there yet. It just isn't there. I mean, City had Mahrez and Foden on the bench, and Alvarez, who's just won the World Cup, on the bench. Ake was out. They brought Akanji in. I mean, they've got Calvin Phillips as well, who just can't get a sniff in at all. They have got a properly developed squad, and we haven't got that. And it gets into a dicey area here, because how many teams can do that, create that kind of squad, and stay within the limits of financial fair play? I don't care what anyone says. We'll see what happens with City and the Premier League. But everyone knows they've been dicing the books. Everyone knows. The only City fan I see online is Boovy from the club, and used to be on the kickoff with True Geordie. And he kind of dances around it. He knows the shenanigans that City board have been up to. They've been cheating. So you have to bear that in mind as well. In the old days, 80 to 85 points would win you a league, but now you need like 95, 100. And it's about that those extra 10, 15 points are so tough to get. You really need to have an incredible squad to be able to do it. And City, I feel, have cheated in doing that. And I'm not salty about the result or anything like that. I'm not saying that Arsenal deserve to win it or anything, because we don't. And whoever wins the league has been the best team that season. So if City win the league, which I'm pretty certain they're going to do, they have been the best team, the best squad this season. But if they've done it through cheating, which is yet to be proven, then that definitely taints it, and we'll have to see what kind of punishments will be dished out on it. So yeah. So anyway, I'm not really wasn't really too down on what happened. It had a certain inevitability about the whole thing. I didn't like the fourth goal. 3-1 kind of felt a bit not respectable, but it's not like you got smashed. 4-1's like, it's terrible. It's like there's no real comeback from that. And our shocking set of results against City continue. I think Arteta has let himself down. He made a comment after the game about, we didn't change anything because we need to be loyal to what got us to that place. And so I completely, excuse, that's a dog sneezing in the background if you can hear that. The only thing he should be loyal to is getting 3 points. That's the only thing that he should be loyal to, is getting 3 points. And I think he let himself down, and I don't understand why he hadn't tried anything different. I really don't. There's plenty of reasons to do it. The fans would have completely understood it, but he didn't. So it's 2 seasons in a row we've got towards the business end of the season, and we've we failed in our objectives. And the thing is, people go, oh, at the beginning of the season, you'd have taken you'd have bitten a hand off to be in this position. Maybe so, but your objectives change as the season goes on. Of course they do. It's ridiculous to say otherwise. Yeah, at the beginning, the goal was to get Champions League and have a good European run. Actually, we didn't even have a good European run in the end. So we've got Champions League football, that's guaranteed now, so that's something. But make no mistake about it, we have collapsed towards the end of the season, and that's the second season in a row. And it's because the squad is fragile. That's essentially what it is. And let's talk about getting Caicedo and Rice in. Personally, I don't think we'll get either of them. I think our ability to get big deals done is questionable, and I think we'll get outbid. I really do. I think we'll get outbid. I think City will get Bellingham, and I think Chelsea and United will just offer crazy money for Rice that we just won't really want to entertain. And then Liverpool are going to miss out on Bellingham, and so then they may come into it. I'm going to have to wrap this up now because my dog wants her dinner and she's woofing in the background. So we've done 20 minutes. It's my longest ever video. So again, thanks for watching. Slightly different setup today. I don't know if I'm going to do it this way again. We'll see. I was just trying it out to see how I got on with it, and I might start trying to invite some other people on to kind of have some discussions and get some feedback and stuff at the same time. Arsenal fans and non-Arsenal fans as well. Whoever wants to talk about football, really. So I've been Cam from Arsenal Theory. Please like and subscribe if you like the video, enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye bye.